Before we talk about bees, do one small thing. Put your hands down. Not because there is a bee near you right now, but because this is usually the first movement fear steals from you. When a bee comes close, your shoulders rise, your fingers tighten, and your hand moves before your mind has time to understand what is happening. So for a few seconds, notice that impulse. Imagine the sound first, a quick buzz near your ear. Then something small moves at the edge of your vision. Maybe it is near your face, near your drink, or near your bare arm on a hot afternoon. Your body wants to wave it away before you have even decided whether you are in danger. Now breathe once and keep your hands down. That tiny pause is where learning begins. This is how to stop being afraid of bees without pretending they are not scary. Bees can be scary. A sting hurts, and for some people, it can be dangerous. The goal is not to become the kind of person who lets bees crawl on their hands for a video. The goal is much more useful, to stay in control while fear is still present. The next time you hear that buzz, instead of being pulled straight into panic, you can feel something strange for the first time. A small amount of control. Not perfect calm, not fake courage. Control. And here is how to build it. Number 1, stop telling yourself your fear is stupid. This is where many people make the fear stronger. They try to shame themselves into calmness. They say, "It is just a bee," or someone else says it for them, and the sentence does not calm anything. It only adds embarrassment on top of fear. But fear of bees is not random. A bee is small, fast, loud, and difficult to predict. It can appear suddenly near your face, vanish behind your shoulder, land where you cannot see it, or get too close to food, skin, hair, or clothing. Your body does not care about logic when something sharp and buzzing flies into your space. It reacts first because that is what it was built to do. So the first correction is not, "I should not be afraid." The first correction is, "My body is trying to protect me, but I can teach it a better response." That sentence gives you a way forward without insulting the part of you that is scared. You are not weak because you flinch. You are having a normal protective reaction, but the reaction is too big for many everyday bee moments. Fear can warn you. Panic takes over. This video is about taking control back from panic. Number 2, stop trying to become fearless. Fearless sounds strong, but it is usually the wrong target. If you believe success means feeling nothing, then the first time your chest tightens, you think you failed. The first time you hear buzzing and your body reacts, you think nothing changed. The first time a bee comes near your face and you want to leave, you think you are back at zero. That is not true. The real goal is not to feel nothing. The real goal is to feel fear and still choose your next move. A panicked body reacts automatically. A controlled body may still be uncomfortable, but it has a plan. The plan is simple enough to remember when you are scared. Stop. Breathe. Hands down. Step back slowly. Stop means you interrupt the automatic reaction. Breathe means you give your body one signal that this is not a full emergency. Hands down means you avoid the movement that most often turns fear into chaos. Step back slowly means you create distance without attacking the air. That is the foundation, a repeatable body script. But how does control look in the moment? It begins with the fastest part of your body, your hands. Number 3, train your hands first. When a bee comes close, your hands want to solve the problem immediately. They want to wave, slap the air, cover your face, brush your sleeve, grab the drink, or protect your skin. That reaction makes emotional sense, but it often makes the moment feel more dangerous. A fast hand adds speed to a moment that already feels too fast. It makes the bee harder to track, makes your body more tense, and can bring the bee closer to clothing or skin. Even when the bee was only passing through your space, your movement can turn the moment into a sudden little storm. So do not begin by trying to relax your whole body. That is too much. Begin with your hands. If a bee comes near you, your first private victory is not smiling. It is not standing there like a nature documentary host. Your first victory is keeping your hands low for one breath. One breath is enough to create a gap. In that gap, you can ask a better question. Is this bee actually dangerous right now? Or did she simply enter my space? Is she interested in me? Or is she circling the sweet drink on the table? Is she trapped? Or is she moving freely? You only need enough pause to stop the automatic wave of the hand. Number 4. Separate close from dangerous. Fear often has only one category. B equals danger. But real life has different B moments, and learning to separate them is one of the best ways to reduce panic. A bee working a flower is usually in a flower moment. She is busy, and you are mostly background. A bee near a sweet drink is in a food moment. A bee near damp soil or a bird bath may be in a water moment. A bee near a hive entrance or nest is in a territory moment, and that deserves more space. A bee caught under clothing or pressed against skin is in a trapped moment, and that requires calm, careful movement. Pause here and think about your last scary bee moment. Was it really dangerous, or was it a close moment that your body treated like danger? Was the bee on flowers, near food, passing your face, trapped in clothing, or near a place where bees were coming and going? That question matters because when fear treats every moment as the same, your body has no choice except panic. When you learn to name the kind of moment you are in, your body gets a map. This is not about becoming careless. Accurate fear is safer than blind fear. Near a hive entrance, move away calmly. Around low clover, wear shoes. If a bee is just passing near your shoulder, stay still for a second and let the moment pass. The question changes from, "Is there a bee?" to, "What kind of bee moment is this?" Fear shrinks when the unknown becomes specific. Number 5. Give yourself distance before you try to give yourself courage. A lot of people fight fear by getting too close too soon. They stand near flowers when they are not ready, get overwhelmed, panic, and then their brain learns the wrong lesson. See, bees are too much. I was right to be afraid. Do not do that. Start at a distance where you can still think, across the yard, behind a window, or several steps away from lavender or clover. Choose one bee, not a crowd. Choose one flower, not a hive. Watch for 30 seconds, then maybe a minute. Do not force yourself closer. Just notice the pattern. The bee lands, turns, works the flower, and leaves. She may return. She is not organizing her day around your fear or chasing you across the garden. Your body will not believe that the first time because you heard it once. Bodies learn through repeated evidence, so give your body evidence in small doses. Watch from safety. Leave before you are overwhelmed. Come back another day. That is how fear changes. Repeated, ordinary moments where nothing terrible happens and your body finally notices. Number 6. The sound is not only an alarm, it is your main sensor if you learn how to read it. For many people, the buzz is the worst part. You may not even see the bee at first. You hear the sound near your ear and your body reacts as if the danger is already on your skin. Sound enters your space before your eyes can confirm what is happening. But the buzz can become information instead of only alarm. The next time you hear it, give yourself 1 second before reacting, as long as you can do so safely. Listen for whether the sound is passing or staying. Notice whether it is near flowers, near food, near a window, near clothing, or near your face. A bee flying past may be gone before your fear finishes rising. A bee trapped against glass may need an open exit, not a panicked hand. A bee in a flower patch may sound close simply because you are standing near her work. You are not trying to enjoy the buzz, you are trying to read it. When sound becomes a signal, it stops being pure chaos. The question becomes practical. Where is it? What is it doing? And what is my slowest, safe move? That question brings you back into control. Number 7. Respect real risk without feeding panic. This has to be honest. Some fear is useful. If you have a serious allergy to bee stings, treat that as real risk and follow your medical plan. Calm does not mean pretending consequences do not exist. Even without an allergy, distance is sometimes the right answer. Do not stand near a hive entrance to prove something. Do not grab bees or walk barefoot through clover when bees are working low in the grass. Respect is different from panic. Panic says, I must escape right now any way I can. Respect says, this situation deserves space, and I can create that space calmly. A respectful person can leave. A calm person can choose another path. A controlled person can say, I am not comfortable here, and move away without swinging, shouting, or making the moment bigger. You are not trying to become reckless around bees. You are trying to stop reacting as if every bee is the worst possible version of the moment. Number 8. Measure progress by what you do, not by what you feel. You may still feel fear. That does not mean you failed. If you kept your hands down for one breath, that is progress. If you stepped back slowly instead of running, that is progress. If you watched one bee on one flower from a safe distance, that is progress. If you heard buzzing and looked before reacting, that is progress. If you calmly left the area because it was too much, that can still be progress. Fear often tries to erase progress. It says, you were still scared, so nothing changed. That is not true. Feeling afraid and acting differently is exactly how change begins. The first goal is not peace. The first goal is choice. And one of the best choices you can learn is how to leave calmly. If a bee comes too close, you are allowed to move away. If there are too many bees around a flowering bush, choose another path. If a bee keeps circling a drink, put the drink down and step back. Leaving is not failure when you leave with control. If you run, wave, and escape in panic, your brain may remember the story as, panic saved me. Then the next time, it will try panic again even faster. But if you lower your hands, breathe once, step back slowly, and leave with control, your brain gets a different lesson. I can handle this. That is the lesson you are trying to teach. Final point. The goal is not to love bees. The goal is to stop living under the command of panic. Maybe you will never be the person who wants bees on your hands. That is fine. You do not need to prove anything to anyone in a garden, on a porch, at a picnic table, or near a patch of flowers. You only need one better moment than last time. The next time a bee comes close, your body may still tighten, your hand may still want to rise, the buzz may still feel too close. But now you have something to do. Stop, breathe, hands down, step back slowly. Then ask what kind of moment this is. Flower, food, water, hive, trapped, or passing. Give yourself distance. Do not shame the fear. Do not obey the panic. Let the bee be a bee. Let the risk be real. And let your body learn that calm respect is possible. One day, maybe sooner than you think, you may notice a bee on a flower and feel the old fear rise only halfway. You may keep your distance but not feel controlled by it. You may hear the buzz and still breathe. You may leave calmly and realize that leaving calmly is control. And that is the real victory, not becoming fearless, but becoming free enough to choose your next move. If you have one specific bee moment that made you afraid of bees, share it in the comments. Was it near your face, near food, in the grass, around flowers, or somewhere else, and what happened next? If this helped you understand how to stop being afraid of bees, how to stay calm when a bee flies near you, or how to respect bees without pretending they are not scary, subscribe to the channel. There is much more happening in your garden and in your own body than panic ever lets you see.